Hi, today I'm going to show you how to set up a triple version 2 site on the Jetstream Cloud. Now, Jetstream is a National Science Foundation computing resource provided for free. So if you're part of a public organization such as a university or the government in the US, you can apply to the National Science Foundation to get access to this. It's actually administered through this group called XSEDE, which you can see right here. If you go to their homepage, you can learn a bunch about it, and you can also apply to get started and to get some time on the Jetstream system. This is what, once you have logged into Jetstream and figured out how to start using it, this is your dashboard. Much of these instructions should work very similarly on other cloud systems, such as the Amazon cloud. But since we have a Jetstream application, that's what I'm going to use for this demo. So you're going to want to start. You'll need to set up a project. You can see I already have a Galaxy workflow testing project that I'm going to use for this. You'll need to set up your own project and then go to your dashboard and launch a new instance. Okay, so now that our images have loaded, I am interested in getting an Ubuntu 1604 image. The Docker containers should work with a number of different operating systems, but I like this image because it comes with Docker installed, which is going to save us a few steps. So I'm going to click on it. And I can see it was created by the Msphere admin, and it does have these little keywords that include Docker. So that's great. I'm going to hit launch now. You can choose different instance sizes. I'm perfectly happy to have a small or a tiny instance. And you can choose between Indiana or Texas. They're about equidistant to me, so I don't know that it'd make too much difference. For now, for this demo, I'm very happy with a tiny instance. So 1 CPU, 2 gigs of memory, and 8 gigs of disk space. So you'll want to scale that up if you think you'll need more space for whatever type of testing or agile development you're trying to do. It also gives you some information about how much of your allocation you used, if you have enough credits left to run this. So I'm happy with all this. I'm going to launch it. This process actually does take quite some time. It's going to sit here and it's going to spin for a little while, and then it's going to take you to another little dashboard where you can see as the instance is deployed and networked and then made available. I'd say this usually takes 3 to 6 minutes, so be patient. Okay, so it looks like our instance is now up and running, and I'm going to copy this IP address right here. It's actually the same IP address I got last time I ran a container. And now I just want to log on with a shell. So I'm going to open up a terminal, try to make it a little bigger so it's easier to see. I'm going to log in with my XSEDE username and just type that address right in there. If your SSH keys are set up correctly, it should log you right in. So I am logged in as a user with the same username as my XSEDE ID. I want to go ahead and become root. So sudo su. And now I chose a container that should have Docker up and running. So let's just check to make sure that that is the case. So Docker PS is going to give us a list of our containers. So this tells us 2 things. First of all, that Docker is installed and running, which is great. And second, there are currently no containers. Docker isn't running any containers, and there are any containers available. So we want to go ahead and add the triple container now. And going back to my web browser, you can see this is the Docker container that I'm interested. You can search the hub.docker.com website to find containers. This one doesn't have a lot of information right now. We're going to be working on improving that documentation, but this is the container that we want to get. So going back to the command line, Docker run. So we're going to run a container. We can do -it. This is going to allow us to have a shell to interact with our container. -P, which is going to allow us to open up some ports. This is going to create a website for us, so we want some ports that we can go see this through a web browser. The name of our container, which is the username of Ming Chen, who created this, and it's Docker triple version 2. There's also version 3 if you're interested in using the more up-to-date version of triple. And bin bash, again, is going to let us create a shell. So let's hit that, and I mistyped this. The run is not a flag. The run is actually a command like that. Now this is another process that takes a few minutes to complete. So again, just be patient. It is installing Apache, the PostgreSQL database. It's getting the triple code. So it's doing a lot in the background for you that you are probably very happy that you don't have to sit here and type the 50 commands. So go grab a cup of coffee, and we'll be back when it's done installing. Okay, everything is now installed, which is great. And we can go check out whether or not it is running by actually just going to the website. So I'm going to go back to our Atmosphere dashboard and copy that IP address again and go type that IP address in and then teleport 8080. Now this is a very common error. Basically your database system is still starting up. So despite the fact that it says okay and everything looks like it has completed, that PostgreSQL database is taking a while to get started. So at this point, just give it 2 or 3 more minutes and try to refresh your browser, and that should take care of the error, and you'll see your triple website. Okay, it's been just a few minutes. Let's give that another try. It's taking just a minute to load. It is the first time it's ever been loaded. And ta-da, we have a working triple site. So this has gone through a lot of the pain of even setting up triple itself. So it's installed the database and gotten it up and running. The default username that comes with it is admin, and the password is also admin. I'm not going to save that. So now at this point, you are ready to rock and roll. You can install modules, you can add content, you have access to all of the administrative features. So for example, I could go in and add an organism. And we'll just make up something, Tryptolium and genomics could be our species name. So just whatever organism you are interested in, you could add it there. You can fill out all of these other fields, but just for demo purposes, I'm going to skip all that. We will save that, and now you'll see you have an organism page, and it can have cross-references, it can have features. So all of those parts of Triple Core are already installed and up and running. So at this point, you're ready to keep working with Triple on Jetstream. Oh, and one other thing that might be worth showing is how to interact with Triple from the command line. So Triple is installed by default in this container in var www html. So we can go there. You'll see this is a very standard Drupal directory. It's got all of the various parts of Drupal. If you're looking for the actual Triple module, it is installed in sites all modules. So we can see over here, here's our triple module. And here's all of the individual parts of Triple Core. So this is still being tracked by Git. So if you are interested in updating to the latest code base, you can do a git pull. And that does tell you that this is currently up to date, but if it weren't, you could pull down any changes.